Good evening. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's Friday, March the 3rd, just a few minutes before 7 o'clock, and I want to touch base on what's going on in the world today. Well, how do you keep your sanity? With everything that's going on, how do you keep your sanity? That's the big question for today. How do you keep your sanity when the president thinks that 100,000 deaths is really a good outcome? He's going to think he's doing a really great job if he only has 100,000 deaths because he's seeing the possibility of well over 2 million deaths. How do you keep your sanity when Vice President Pence admits that we're close to the Italian model where 12% of the population died that was affected with COVID, than the Korean model where less than 1% died? How do you keep your sanity when the cases in the United States right now are well over 274,000 deaths, 274,000 cases? 7,000 deaths so far, over 7,000 deaths. That's more than double what happened in 9/11. More than double what happened in 9/11. 7,000 deaths, over 7,000 right now, in just a matter of months. We're only in the first week of April. Just started in January. There's over 2.5% of the people that were affected died. Over 2.5% died. Now, yeah, there's some people that recovered. 9,400 people recovered so far. That's a really good deal. But, there's still over 7,000 deaths, and this hasn't peaked yet. New York State is the center of the whole thing right now. Over 103,000 cases right now in New York State. 103,000 cases in one state. Over 2,900 deaths in that state. Of those 2,900, over 1,500 are in New York City alone. How do you keep your sanity when this isn't expected to peak for another 7 to 21 days? New Jersey's at the number 2 spot in the nation right now. 29,000 cases, 646 deaths. A couple days ago, a New Jersey ER doc died from COVID. Yesterday, day before, a 7-week-old infant in Connecticut died. Yesterday, a police officer, I believe it was in Illinois, died, again, from COVID. Okay. How do you keep your sanity when more and more cops and firefighters, EMS people, are getting infected? Okay. In Ohio, okay, over 20% of all the cases reported, 20% of those people were EMS workers in the healthcare system. 20% of the people reported that had COVID in Ohio worked in healthcare. Now, if they're not dying or they're sidelined for close to a month, who's taking care of everybody? Right now, nurses in New York City are protesting because they don't have PPE. If the nurses and physicians die or are sidelined for over a month, who's there to run the ventilators? If there's no people, there's no care. It's a big problem. And there's just no one left to run the vents, no matter how many vents you have. And they don't have enough anyway, but no matter what happens, who's there to run them? If you've got no staff, you've got problems. Okay? And that, what is happening right now in New York State, is happening all over the rest of the country. New Orleans and Detroit are most likely next. Chicago is expected to peak in mid to late April. Texas, I believe, is looking at mid-May. So this thing is just going to continue to go on for quite a while now. Okay. Some states still don't have stay-in orders in place. How do you keep your sanity when that happens? How do you keep your sanity when governors are telling, oh yeah, not a real big deal, we're going to have stay at home, but partial stay at home, but if you want church services, go right ahead. Have in-person church services. How do you keep your sanity when you know that the numbers that the president runs off with every day in the press briefings that he does, okay, all the vents, all the masks, all the PPE they're supposedly shipping out, okay, a lot of those numbers aren't going to the individual states. They're going to supply centers, and they're being sold again. This is why the governors are forced to continuing to keep bidding against each other, trying to get those limited amount of supplies. Okay? There is no federal coordinated response. The supply chain is broken because it's left in a commercial situation right now, and you've got 50 states, 50 governors trying to get the same supplies. And then FEMA comes in and outbids everybody. Okay? No one's in charge at the government level. I just sat there and watched part of the briefing today. It looks like a clown show. No one's in charge. They had the son-in-law the other day, Kushner, right? And the federal supplies were his stockpiles. They weren't for the states. They were his. I mean, am I missing something here, folks? There's a major disconnect between what goes on in D.C. and the offices in D.C. and what goes on in the rest of the world. Okay? The ER docs, the ER nurses, the frontline EMTs, the cops and firefighters on the street, they'll tell you what the real story is. They don't have equipment. Okay? They don't have testing. I really don't care too much about what they say in the press briefings. Whatever they're saying, it's not happening at the street level. That's the only place that actually counts. Now, the vice president and the president, they could be nice people. I don't know. I don't have them over for dinner at my house. They seem to be okay. I don't know. But they're certainly not qualified to handle the logistics of this problem. And the president knew about this back in January, blew it off for close to 6 weeks before he got remotely serious. They're not qualified to handle the logistics of this. He wants to be a wartime president. I'm a wartime president. Fine. Okay. Be a wartime president. Okay. Get somebody in charge. Okay. One single military person who knows how to run logistics. The Defense Supply Act needs to be fully implemented. You get one single military person who's in charge of everything and then can move the materials to where they're actually needed. Okay. The social distancing was extended to April 30th. What a surprise. Okay. It needs to be a national stay at home. He doesn't want to take responsibility for some reason. I don't know why, but he doesn't. Okay. He wants states' rights, states' rights. None of the states are complaining. Take the rights away right now. Okay. Take over the federal supply chain. That needs to be done. It's not happening. Not one governor is complaining that the federal government is taking over supply chain because it's not happening. They can't get the materials that they need. Now, this could easily go on to May and June. More people out of work every day, losing health care. Now, the Trump administration made it sound as though if you lost your job due to COVID, they may be reopening the exchanges for you. I've yet to see it. They say a lot of things at the podium. But when it comes to street level, it's not necessarily there. Now, yesterday we're running off about the SBA loans, and today ran off some more about the SBA loans and how good they are and how much money's out in the street. Well, the money's not out in the street. They didn't have the regs in place. The banks couldn't lend anything. They weren't set up. They didn't know what was supposed to happen. The banks are highly regulated. They've got laws they've got to comply with. Okay, and you can't go to any FDIC bank. You have to go to a bank that you're actually dealing with and meet certain conditions. The conditions are relatively lax, but there are conditions that need to be met, and the banks don't know what the conditions actually are because the federal government, Mnuchin rolled this thing out, supposedly, but the banks don't have the information. Maybe now they're a little bit closer. I don't know. Okay. Some states, New York and California, have reopened the exchanges for a while. Okay, that's a good deal. A few more states may be following. The big announcement today, okay, two actually from the president and the vice president. One, you should be wearing a mask when you go outside, but the president won't wear one because he doesn't like the way they look, basically. But, okay, so if you go outside, wear a mask. We'll deal with that in a little bit. Okay, the second big announcement was that if you lose your health care, if you're in a private market and you have insurance, they've made a big, great deal with the insurance companies that they're going to waive the copays for 60 days. Okay, so if you get sick with COVID, okay, the testing is supposed to be covered free of charge, supposedly. We'll see how that works. Okay, but that's a minor cost. Okay, the treatment for your COVID, if you get sick, could be as much as $70,000 for a treatment. That leaves you somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 of a copay that you're responsible for. And their big announcement today was that, the insurance companies have agreed to waive the collection of that for 60 days. I really don't think that's going to be a big help. Personally, I don't know. Now, the markets were down another 360 points today. Okay, it goes up, it goes down. As more deaths come in, the market's not going to be happy. Okay, how do you keep your sanity when all this financial healthcare crisis is affecting you to this degree? It's a lot. Okay, over 701,000 jobs were lost last month. In 1 month, 701,000 jobs were lost last month. Basically, for all the jobs that were picked up in the last 5 years, they all got wiped out in 1 month. And it's not finished yet. More and more people are out of work. More and more people are dying. Okay, one Detroit bus driver, okay, had a video of him. They pulled up a video. He did a little Facebook thing on his phone 4 or 5 weeks ago. Driving his bus, some lady came on the bus, was coughing. He was terribly upset that she's coughing, her mouth uncovered on his bus, exposing him and the rest of his passengers. And people sort of blew that off. He's just finicky, he's touchy. Guess what? He just died of COVID. Driving a bus 4 weeks ago, dead from COVID today. Okay. This is serious. This is going on. Okay, this is not getting better anytime soon. Okay. Now, some things are starting. Okay, without a doubt in the world, some things are starting. The federal relief payments are in process. If you get Social Security numbers, if you get a Social Security check coming to you on a routine basis, the IRS is going to get that money to you the same way that they send your Social Security check, either direct deposit or hard copy mail. If you're filing your tax returns with direct deposit information, they should get money to you a little bit faster. If they got to write out a paper check, it could be another 2 to 3 weeks is what they're saying. Some people are saying it could be another 2 to 3 months. We'll see what happens. I've got some links on my site, not on the site itself, but when I post this video to my YouTube channel, The Real Money Doctor, there's a link in there that I have daily links, and they go to a number of different places. The IRS is one of those things, so you can confirm that they've got your information. If you're unemployed, keep trying to apply. The states have been jammed. Okay, the federal government says, "Oh, we've got all this money out there. That's great," but they can't get it to the states because the states can't process the claims. Okay, if you get a small business, okay, and the small business loan was supposed to be a good deal because, yeah, it is a good deal, because if you keep your employees on for 4 to 6 or 8 weeks or something or other, they can eventually forgive the loan completely, which is a great deal if you can get the loan. But the government regs are not in place just yet, and right now there might be 6 or 8, maybe 10 of these loans physically approved at this point in time by 1 or 2 different banks. I don't know. If you don't have health care insurance right now, call your state to see what programs they have. Okay. Beware of the stimulus payment scams. The IRS in the states will not call, they will not email you, okay, asking you to verify any information. That's not what they do. Okay, it just doesn't happen that way. Okay, I'll give you a link. I go to my YouTube channel and watch this video, and the links will be underneath the video where you can get more information on that. Got to be careful of the scams right now. Yesterday I noticed, I got the same email today, somebody wanted to sell me masks. Okay, 2 masks for $80. Okay. In a routine world, 4 months ago, you can get that same mask for $3 someplace. It cost them 50, 80 cents to make. Okay, so watch out for the scams. But how do you keep your sanity when all this stuff is 24/7 news coverage and none of it's good? Okay, turn off the news for a little while. Okay, all it does is going to get you upset. They talk about the same thing over and over again. When they bring up something new, it's not going to make you happy. So just touch base 2 or 3 times a day. That's it. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy. And the reason that it's so difficult to keep your sanity is that there is no certainty right now. Your daily routine that kept you sane, you may have complained about it forever and a day, but that daily routine kept you sane. There was a certain amount of certainty in that. That doesn't exist right now. Because you don't have that certainty, you don't have that daily routine, you feel out of control. It gets you angry and frustrated and scared, and that's okay. It's okay to have a bad day. But don't be so concerned with things that you can't do anything about. Some news stations are, they're pumping the same trash that they've been pumping for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Oh yeah, it's a big scam, it's going to go away, the weather's going to break. No, it's not going to go away. It's not a big scam. Okay, ask the people in New York City that have trucks lined up outside their hospitals, temporary morgues, refrigerated trucks, New York City in the year 2020. This is not a happy situation. It's not going to get better anytime quickly. But you need to keep your sanity. How are you going to do that? How do you keep your sanity in this type of time when all these things are going on? Understand, for starters, there is going to be another side. You are going to come out on the other side at some point. You have to plan your finances for the next 3 months. 30 days isn't going to do it. You've got to be some idea on paper what you're going to do for income for the next 3 months. Your plan A, the job that you had, okay, it's all upended at this point in time. You need a plan B, something that puts you back in control of your money and your life, something that you can do regardless of what happens in the rest of the world. Okay. Now, it's also time for some homemade masks. Okay, scarves and bandanas are okay for starters, but I mentioned yesterday, I didn't get to the video yet. I promise I will. I will have it up for tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow I'll have the video up for you. I'm going to show you how to make a very, very quickie, simple mask. It's not a real big deal. Okay. You don't need to buy the mask and take them out of the supply chain for hospital workers. You don't feel bad about that. You can make your own mask from home. It takes you less than 2 minutes. I'm going to have a video on that. There's dozens of different materials you can use, but I'm going to show you how to do that tomorrow. Okay. That'll be on the link with this video that I post on my YouTube channel. Again, The Real Money Doctor. Now, the mask is a help. Okay, it's just one more thing that helps. In addition to the physical distancing, in addition to the hand washing, all are part of things. Just remember, the virus doesn't move by itself. People move the virus. If people don't move, the virus doesn't move. Stay at home. Don't have large family gatherings. Try to avoid family gatherings at all at this point in time. You're putting the rest of your family at risk. They're putting you at risk. Now, understand, you don't have to be physically locked inside the house for the next 3 months. You're going to go out for something. You're going to go out for groceries. You're going to go out because you're just going to go stir crazy in the house. It's okay. Okay, wear your mask. Don't change your behavior to avoid infection. Assume you're infected. Just assume you're infected and change your behavior to avoid transmission. Once we can break that transmission chain, things will start to break. The problem with this is it takes 2 to 3 or 4 weeks to notice that there's a difference. But understand, okay, there will be a difference if you maintain the basic practices. Wash your hands, wear a mask when you go outside, avoid family gatherings, avoid parties for certain. Okay, when you go to the store, some stores are limiting 20, 30 people in a store at a time. I went to Sam's the other day. I waited a half an hour in line outside. Everybody's very good, 6 feet apart. Okay, and then they metered in the number of people. Some stores are not doing that. More are starting to do that. Okay? It's good for you. It's good for people in the store. Okay? It just limits the number of people that you're exposed to. Limits the number of people that the people in the store are exposed to at any point in time. And social distancing is really important. Now, I've got a link. Again, it's in the YouTube channel. I'll have stuff in there on how to COVID-proof your house. Now, understand also that there's a 40% chance that you're going to get COVID. There's a 40% chance you're going to get COVID. If you do, there's a 98% chance that you're going to clear. It won't be particularly pleasant, but there's a 98% chance that you're going to come out on the other side pretty much unscathed. That's great news. There's also a 2% chance that it's going to be fatal. And with 100,000 deaths projected at the best case, okay, you don't want to be part of that 2%. So there are things that you need to do if you might remotely be part of that 2%, and there is a chance of that. And if you want to maintain your sanity, you want some certainty in your life. Certainty is you taking care of the things you can take care of. So one of the things you can take care of are 3 really basic things that you need to do should something happen to you. Okay. One is a living will. Very critical piece of paper. Lets the hospital know what happens to you, what you want to happen to you. Okay. A durable power of attorney. Should you get laid up in a hospital for a month or 2, okay, life goes on, as life goes on right now. Okay. Who's going to be handling your legal affairs at that point, your financial affairs? You want somebody to be able to do that. And your last will and testament. Again, if you've got major assets, a house, okay, a boat, an airplane. If you've got an airplane, you're probably not watching this unless you got a really small airplane. Okay, brokerage accounts. Those things would pass by a will. Okay, it's important to have them listed in who you want things to go to. If you got life insurance, annuities, and pension plans, okay, they'll pass by contract. When you signed up for them, you also designated a beneficiary. So those things are okay. But I'll provide a link so that you can do your own will, your power of attorney, and your living will. Okay, I'll post a link for that. It's, again, in the YouTube channel, and that'll be handy for you. Now, in order to get some certainty in your life, you need to plan now. You need to put certain things in control that you can control. Okay. You can be responsible for your own behavior. You can certainly control that. Okay. Be nice to family. Check on your neighbors. Check on the elderly. Video calls are great. Okay. People are feeling isolated right now. People are not used to not shaking hands and giving hugs. People are just not used to that. It throws them off. Okay? It increases their uncertainty as to what goes on in the world. That little act increases uncertainty by a lot. So, video calls are good. Okay. The nation is slowly coming together. There's new stories every day. New stories every day of people doing nice things. We're a nation of people who continue to do nice things. Okay. And they're drowned out by the craziness that goes on with presidential press briefings and everything's going down in D.C. right now. But the nation is full of nice people. Relax, enjoy it. Maintain your sanity. Okay, focus on the things you can control. Let the other stuff just drop away. You can't control what crazy things are doing in D.C. You can't control what comes out of the president's mouth or what he tweets. Ignore it. Unless it has a direct effect on you, and chances are it doesn't, just ignore it. All you're going to do is get upset. Maintain your sanity. Okay, spend some time relaxing. Meditation is a good daily routine. Daily journaling. Let you get your feelings out in a private place. These things are good. If you get kids at home, okay, the school year is shot to hell. Okay. Some schools are sending some stuff out. Some things you can do online. You need to do something with the kids. If you got really little kids, okay, my wife, Dr. Terry, does her 7:30 reading. Okay, her bedtime books with Dr. Terry. That's great for little kids. If you have older kids, I provided some links. Again, in the YouTube channel, there's a link there. Goes to a page on our website. Tons of interesting information and things that you can use. In addition to that, every day I'll be posting a little present, a little something for you. It'll be different every day. I guarantee you something different every day. Something that you can actually enjoy. In these times of uncertainty, when the world seems totally out of control, I'm going to post a little something that I think you'll enjoy. I posted one there today. I'll post something there tomorrow. Again, like and share this video. When you go on YouTube, The Real Money Doctor, okay, like and share those videos. Leave a comment. I appreciate that. Questions and concerns, email me. I'll try and address them in the shows as I do them. Again, I look forward to your posts. I look forward to your questions. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, The Real Money Doctor. I'm here to help you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I appreciate spending time with you, and I'll see you then. Bye now. Thank you.